Hey, Mr. President, it's a pleasure to be here in the presence of so many presidents. One often wonders why anyone would want to give up that title. But in any event, it's a pleasure to be here. And Governor Patton, your comments were very modest. I often am asked who the finest governor I've ever worked with. And since I've been in the General Assembly longer than any member of the Kentucky State Senate governor, I say in any group without fear of contradiction that during this time period, you were the finest governor I've ever served with. You had a vision. There's much to be happy about, and congratulations to the presidents of universities and all those assembled here. But I will tell you that as the level of attainment has improved, as the STEM initiative has worked, as Kentucky education reform changes have taken place, as Senate Bill 1 takes its form with changing the curriculum, as we focus on math, as we focus on Senate Bill 130, creating a college readiness, Senate Bill 2, which try to do advanced placement and all those sort of things that have worked. We cannot let this time period pass, however, without reflecting upon the fact that the economic situation of Kentuckians has not changed enough. We are not able, with our present economic system, to import talent. It seems we might be holding our own, but holding our own is just not enough. We have to look at the structure. The government must look at itself. We must look at our tax structure. We must look at the sort of environment we have to create and retain jobs in this state. This is really good news, but there's some troubling things in the report also. If you look at the report, Kentucky ranks 5th among the states in the number of STEM credentials awarded per 1,000 STEM employees. But on the flip side of that, Kentucky ranks 43rd among the states in the percentage of jobs in the STEM fields, indicating a mismatch between supply and demand. And the amount that our STEM initiative employees make is still significantly lower than other states. And that situation, if sustained itself, will cause an outward migration of the folks that we're educating here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So the universities are doing their jobs. The private colleges are doing their jobs. KCTCS is doing its job. The council is doing its job. And the General Assembly, since 1990, has done many jobs in sustaining and creating better educational opportunity. But now it's time for all of us collectively to reflect upon where we are as a state as far as competitiveness is considered. I believe that we have a model that is broken as far as our tax structure and the situation that we have in our state, because these very people that we are educating here are very mobile. They will be recruited by other states. The folks with the STEM initiative qualifications will be recruited heavily. And how long will we be able to keep them here? These are the same individuals that are subject to being recruited away by differences in tax laws that we have and by business environment we have. So we have to work together to sustain this, but ultimately, in order to have the resources that we need to sustain this activity, we're going to have to create an environment where people can find and keep well-paying jobs. And to see this synergy that has been created and the recognition that Governor Patton created about the importance of having a well-educated workforce is going to have to be, this sort of synergy is going to have to be built upon and created, and we have to work together to make sure we keep that sort of situation going in the state of Kentucky. I'm very concerned about this because I believe as we look forward over the next several years, we're going to continue to see the northern states, which we used to affectionately call the Rust Belt, making changes that we're going to have to match to. It's just not the southern states we're in competition with any longer. So we know that the income from these STEM initiative graduates is larger, healthcare folks is larger, bachelor's degree folks are even larger. But we're going to have to keep up the rigor, do advanced placement courses, make sure that we do the sort of things as far as career development and pathways legislation that we've tried to pass in the Kentucky State Senate. And yes, it is going to take a bipartisan effort. Since 1990, we've worked on changing education aims in a long time. You've been here in adult education and higher education and other initiatives that we've had. But these initiatives will fail if we don't create a place where our people can retain jobs and create jobs and have prosperity. And that's our goal. That needs to be the goal of whoever the next governor is and whoever the next General Assembly members are that are elected in the future, to sustain this, but to recognize you must have an environment to foster the quality of life necessary, and most frequently that can be directly associated with the level of per capita income, which is the next goal that we ought to focus on. Education will get you there, but you have to have the infrastructure in place and the process in place to allow people to stay and prosper. Thank you so very much. And on behalf of the Kentucky State Senate, I will tell you that members come and go, governors come and go, but the legislature changes not as quickly as those folks. But one constant thing has happened over the last 20 years is Republicans and Democrats, even though they have disagreed, have always focused on the need to improve education in our state, because it is truly the only way for upward mobility. Thank you, and congratulations, presidents, and congratulations everyone who was involved.